All right, guys, so today we are going to start our class read aloud. And this book is near and dear to my heart. It's the book Counting by 7's by Holly Goldberg Salone. And it is a book that in every chapter continues to inspire us to think outside of ourselves. My end in mind for this book is that you get a chance to kind of dive into the mind of a different kind of character, see life from her perspective, think outside of your life norms, and put yourself in the shoes. Remember that song that we listened to, Walk a Mile in Another Man's Shoes? Put yourself in the shoes of this character. So let's get started today by reading Counting by 7's. Counting by 7's. The title of the book says, if you're lost, sometimes you might need to swim against the tide. So just take a second to look at the cover of this book here a second. Swimming against the tide can also mean going against the grain or doing things differently than other people around you. The book cover in itself is really beautiful because it kind of just really, your eye is drawn to this fish here. And I know we've done a lot of things like with the book Out of My Mind or talking about fish this year. So this one specifically, notice this fish is even shiny on the cover compared to the other fish here that are in more of a muted, matted form. And let's just start by reading the back cover. 7 reasons to read this extraordinary novel. Number 1, friendship. It doesn't always happen easily, especially for Willow. But now that she has met Mai, a girl with enough energy to tackle the impossible, the one who sees Willow for who she really is. Number 2, oddballs. We all feel like outsiders sometimes. Willow, the genius, who has mastered several foreign languages and medical school textbooks all by the age of 12, certainly doesn't fit in with any crowd, and neither do the other people in the story filled with terrific, memorable oddballs. Hobbies. It helps to have something interesting to focus on, such as Willow's passion for nature, but when tragedy strikes, it is the simple act of growing sunflowers that first brings her some pleasure again. Laughing and crying. Despite the tragedy, this is a beautiful, satisfying book, the kind that makes you see your own life in a new way. The kind that makes you see your own life in a new way. And through the heartache, you will find yourself laughing at the wonderfully absurd moments that happen even on the hardest days. Number 5 is miracles. Those unexpected, silly moments are miracles, and the story is filled with everyday miracles. Number 6, family. And the most miraculous thing of all is loving family. And number 7, Willow Chance herself, whose heart leads her on a path to belonging, a path that is surprising, exhilarating, and without a doubt one that you will never forget. This week, we are going to start reading Counting by 7's. And you will have some engagement activities to do while we read this new class novel. So every time we go to read an excerpt of this class novel, you are going to need to have your writer's notebook right in front of you. And after we're done reading, I'll have certain things for you to do or draw or work with in your writer's notebook. And then we will have you send a picture of it in or post in the discussion board about it, because I want you actively engaged in this book. The end in mind for this book, actually, my friends, is you are going to do a lit talk, an old school book report, but in a new school kind of way, on Counting by 7's. And that is going to be done by the end of session 3, which ends on May 26th. So by the end of this session, we will not only have finished reading Counting by 7's, we will also have completed a lit talk report on it. So get excited. We're starting to read this book this week. Adios.